into consideration what I feel we are doing to the area, to the community, and their really desire to come back. That's always going to be a risk, I feel. They're going to remain, if they express that interest and they are qualified, and there's nothing in the file of another instance, per se, to prevent them from qualifying for that position, then we move forward.
Thank you. Secretary Billy and Trustee.
The protocol, the actual question, and you asked the superintendent. So my question to you, Mr. Taylor, is how do these positions fall into the district improvement plan and also the financial operating plan? Because I looked at the district improvement plan, there was nothing on here about a dean. I seen instructional coaches. I saw principals. I saw, the training for the teachers. But I didn't see anything that identified deans in that district improvement plan. I understand from the email that saying we have to hurry up and do this because the SRO is coming. We have to fill these positions, but they've been open. So I'm not going to do a decision based upon that.
Secretary Billy.
So my question is, how does it fit into the district improvement plan and the financial operating plan? Is this budgeted? Has it been revised?
So that question I can't answer.
No, I want you to ask the superintendent that question.
So you can address the superintendent.
Oh, I
That's,
can.
that's not a protocol at the table.
Oh, okay.
Robert Rules of Order just states, we just raise our hand or motion, and then I'll say Secretary Billy, and then you ask your question.
Okay, I know all these new rules.
No, this is parliamentary procedure.
Oh, okay. So the question is for Dr. Walker, and she just heard. So that's my question.
So,
Do you need clear?
I'm sorry.
Do you need clear? Do you understand? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, it is aligned to our district improvement plan.
Where?
The goals that are in the plan are three. One is achievement around the curriculum, and the other one is safe and orderly school environment / climate. And the third is leadership. So this dean position ties specifically to the climate and the safe and orderly environment, as our data has evidence that we are still in the process of discerning those appropriate structures that will allow us to best ensure instruction. And in order to get to the place of ensuring instruction, we have not been able to impact the orderliness of our school climates. And so this approach is absolutely appropriate through our district improvement plan and does align. And we did have to work with the state and then with you all to get approval. I did declare this as an emergency, and not so much the state reform office. As you mentioned, although that is definitely a variable, we want to put our best foot forward every chance we can, but this would have been a natural involvement
That was my question. Point of
without.
order. Could you please have Dr. Walker address the questions and not my statement?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Point of order, Secretary Billy, what she was addressing, and I think after that, you can answer another question.
Yeah, because I asked the question, how did this fit into our district improvement plan? Because she's going into my statement, and she's attacking what I said, which is one for no to be over. So what I want to know is this budgeting is in our financial operating plan is my second question.
Just ma'am.
So for the state to come is an important variable, but it's not the driving factor at all. The data that we have, again, evidences that our students are not being successful, and we are trying very hard not to have to send them home. So this is an attempt to, again, provide the appropriate supports to our children. And so working through the financial operating plan with Mr. Johnson and Dr. Witherspoon And then, of course, communicating with the board, we were able to incorporate these dean positions, but they are only for the remainder of the school year as we review and plan for the next school year. So this again is absolutely in line with our district improvement plan and with our financial operating.
So you're saying that it wasn't budgeted, but it was added?
It was not an initial program, so it was not initially identified, but in the budget, there are funds that are set aside for emergencies or crises, and so we were able to access those funds to allow us to support our students. Every school budget has a contingency plan, and so we had to use a contingency budget, and so we did have to tap that budget in order to make this happen. It was not money we just had.
Next question. Mr. Johnson, can you tell me which line item is budgeted for those emergencies on this sheet?
Yes. In budget function 111, 113, 125, 221, and 331, there are,
What page one?
sorry, I didn't bring the actual document with me, but I'll be happy to show you after the meeting.
Okay.
In each of those functions, 111, 113, 125, 221, we have an account called estimated over or under spending to allow for contingencies. So we do in fact have some funds built in the budget for unexpected costs. In the mid-year budget revision, we'll be updating the contingency amounts and adjusting quite a significant number of other accounts to reflect updated revenue management estimates. So we'll factor in the staffing change at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
So we'll go to trustee Gavin and then trustee Six.
I'm always happy to see jobs that I am concerned about the people who were laid off. Is there some type of protocol or procedure that would allow for those people to also have opportunities when these types of jobs are available and they might be able to fill?
I would say definitely. These positions are all posted on our district website, so if those who are laid off are doing regular checks of those, they are more than welcome to apply and be considered for a position.
So we don't have something in place where we contact them when they may be at the top of the list because they were laid off and not fired? That's
From what I'm hearing, they're not in the union. I don't have anything currently in place where I would go to that list. If they're in the union, like our paraprofessionals, we went to the layoff list to call those back. When we exhausted that, that's when we had to then post for additional paraprofessionals.
Trustee Six.
Would you go over, Ms. Baptiste, how many deans? I did hear one dean and then I heard two deans, and what was their job description?
Okay, so the first one, Regina Jones, that is the Senior Assistant Study Program, and that's based at ACA.
Okay,
And then the following two that you're seeing that is Jordan Wright and Dan Jennings. Those are at Hull, and it's Dean of Student, that title for both of those positions.
okay, because when I was looking on the Benton Harbor School's website, I did not see how many dean jobs were available. It just said dean. And I could not tell how many actual openings that there were. So is that the normal, it highlighted, it opens up? How does that operate?
It was two positions posted initially. The first one was filled, and once that was accepted, then that one came off. So you just saw the one for Hull, which came up later. So that's why it's just,
Okay, so it's three actually.
it is in total.
All right, thank you.
Vice President.
Dr. Walker, who does the deans report to?
At Hull, the deans will report to the principal. At ACA, the dean reports to Mr. Bledsoe. The dean at ACA is connected to the program itself. That dean is overseeing the specific assisted study program. So they're over the program. And Mr. Bledsoe will provide oversight and guidance. The two deans at whole are building deans to support the students and the choices the students are making that are not school appropriate, they're not school ready. And so those two persons are working with the principal within the school. The dean assigned to ACA is out in the portables. And we are not assigning that dean to the school administrators due to the magnitude of responsibilities they have with current student behavior. So we did create, again, kind of the school within the school model.
Any other questions or comments concerning recommendation for employment? If not, Dr. Walker, Central Administration.
Yes, and we won't open the volunteer process as it was sent as a confidential privilege document, but if you all recall, we did in closed session have a conversation with Attorney Miller. And again, this is not something that you will vote on next week. It's just want to make sure, if you recall the conversation with her, she did want you to take a look at the process as they recommended her firm some additions and some changes. And so again, just one more opportunity for the board to ensure that this process is what they support and move forward with that process.
Any questions or concern about that process that we received? Dr. Walker, communication protocol.
Yes, thank you. We will open that document, as you all know from our workshop with MASB last week. This is the protocol that the board agreed would be appropriate for communication. This was shared with, this is an example, as I shared earlier, of a document that was received from MASB and shared today for your review and for your vote next week, as we have done with other work that we've done with MASB. The board has agreed that once that conversation or topic has been visited in the MASB session and those present agree, then this is what the board